Vicki Humphreys. She's the Knoxville area coordinator. She'll be coming to speak here in just a moment. Vicki does a tremendous, wonderful job. Her job, I think, is to tell me what to do, because I get a ton of emails telling me what to do. But if she wasn't doing that, I'd be completely lost. And of course, if she doesn't, she'll send it to me and Stephanie, so I get it twice to make sure I get from her and from Stephanie. But she does a tremendous job of coordinating this, all the boxes that come into our area, come to Knoxville and get distributed out to the packing centers. But I couldn't speak enough great things about her. Before she comes, she would like us to show a video. So Becky, if you will, then afterward, Vicki, just come on up, okay?
God doesn't do anything to harm his children. That's only Satan's work. I was blaming him, and I didn't see how he worked to save my life. And I want people to understand that the God who did that in my life, protecting me through the war, is the God who is working in their lives, is the God who is with them each and every day, the God who is using something as simple as a shoebox to change a kid's life. We're at my orphanage that I grew up in. I came to the orphanage in 1995, and same year later on I received the shoebox here when I was very young, when I was about 7 years old, and I can show you exactly where I was. I was standing right there, and all of us 250 kids standing in this area getting ready to receive a shoebox, and that's where it took place. And I could right now just sitting here, standing here and looking at that and getting ready to to hand out other boxes. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. Jesus loves you, and he cares for you, okay? Hari michi. Murika da hari michi. Do. There. Seeing the letters and seeing the school supplies and the hygiene items, to someone out there may not mean much, but to a kid here in an orphanage or at home, it may mean a world to them. It may communicate the only time they can really be reminded that someone really cares about me. And then receiving the message of the greatest journey with these boxes, and just showing through how Jesus Christ came on this earth to die for his people, and understanding that he came to die for them too. God. Only God knows their hearts. We don't know their hearts. God knows their hearts, and God will use that gift to just go and reach in the deepest of their hearts. Keep packing more. That's what I would say, because there's there's so many kids in this world that needs the same message that these kids just received and that I received when I was very young. So thank you so much, and please don't give up.
Hello. I didn't time that too well, did I? That little awkward pause. Sorry about that. Good morning. It's so good to be here. I think about the scripture, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. But I want to tell you how beautiful your faces are this morning. I love the energy when I walked in here. One of the perks of my volunteer role is to get to come and do these kind of presentations and to get to worship with congregations. And so I bring you greetings from my home church, which is Christ Chapel in Knoxville. And so it's wonderful to think that they're worshiping together while we're here worshiping together. So I wanted to show that particular video because Alex is one of 124 million children who have received a shoebox since Operation Christmas Child started. So is there anybody in the room who does not know what Operation Christmas Child is? Feel free to raise your hand. All right. Okay. So I'm actually here to make a special presentation, but I wanted to talk to you, first of all, for a few minutes about Operation Christmas Child, because one of the things that's happened since the time that you, First Baptist Bean Station, have become a collection point for us is that there is a follow-up discipleship program called The Greatest Journey. You saw a little piece of it in that video when Alex was the boys had the booklets and stuff. And so I want you to know that when you fill a shoebox and that box is given out, that's not the end. It's really the beginning. And we call those boxes gospel opportunities because when that box is given out, the child is able to hear a presentation of the gospel. They're able to receive a booklet in their own language that tells them the meta story, the big story of creation, all the way through Jesus coming and dying for them, and all the way even through the ascension. And so not only does that booklet go to them, but it goes home with them. It may be the only thing in their house in their language to read. Their family, their parents, their siblings, their cousins. I've even heard of a school using it as curriculum because it was the only thing that every child in the class had one of. And so I want you to know that it is a box to Bible program because as they go into this follow-up discipleship program, and I have a slide to show, that first slide, The Greatest Journey is a 12-lesson discipleship program, and within that, there's also a lesson that presents Christ again. So there's an opportunity that if they went through that distribution, they get their box, they heard about Jesus, but they didn't accept him, they'll get to hear again. Actually, the one on the right, all the way on the right. No, got it? Yeah, that one. And so there are 12 lessons, and one of the lessons, actually the last lesson, teaches them how to be a disciple, how to share and witness for Christ. And so what Franklin Graham says, who is the head of Samaritan's Purse, under which Operation Christmas Child exists, is that we are building a team of evangelists. And it's not us to them, it's child to child within their own country. We want that to grow within their own country. And so the next slide shows some statistics from 2010 to 2014. And I thought this was kind of cool because these are the years that you have been a collection point. And these are the years that The Greatest Journey has really started to, we've started to put it in many of the countries. But look at that number, 2.1 million children have made decisions for Christ through Operation Christmas Child and The Greatest Journey. And then there's one more slide I wanted to show you. For those of you that, I know for some of you numbers talk to you, right? I'm not quite the numbers person, but I know some of you are. That next slide, if we took just the children who came to know Christ last year, 2014, through The Greatest Journey, and we average that down per day, per hour, per minute, it's almost 2 children per minute that are receiving Christ through Operation Christmas Child and The Greatest Journey program. So I wanted you to know about that impact that you are making, and you actually do more than just that, because you were the face of Operation Christmas Child. When I asked Ed, okay, so when I make this presentation, who do you want me to come up? Who are your key volunteers? He said, it's the whole church. And so that's really exciting to know that you all get plugged in during our National Collection Week, which is coming up the 3rd week of November. It's such a great way to serve your community. And while the shoeboxes are an outreach tool in the country where they're being given out, the collection here in your community is an outreach tool, because there are a lot of people who will fill a shoebox who don't really set foot in a church. And for them to walk in and hand their shoebox to you and interact with you, and you be that face of Operation Christmas Child and that face of Christ, it provides them an opportunity to experience church in a way that maybe they haven't or haven't been willing to for a long time. So I want to thank you for that. And for the last 5 years, you have done that and are continuing on. I wanted to tell you that you have collected 9,092 boxes in this location in those 5 years that you've been involved. So So at this point, I would like to have Pastor Derek and Ed and Stephanie come up, and I have a special plaque from Samaritan's Purse to present to your church for being a collection point for us for these 5 years. And in 5 years, I hope to see you again for the 10-year plaque. So just let me say on behalf of Samaritan's Purse, thank you very much for the opportunity to use this facility. There's a lot that you probably don't even know happens in order to make that happen, to open those doors, to be here every day for those 8 days, to be that face of Jesus, the hands and feet of Jesus, and the face of Operation Christmas Child. So come on up, guys. I have to send a picture to prove I did this, and so we're going to do a little mug shot here, okay?